Okay, so let's take care of these buttons now, and let's go back and look at our reference for a second. Let's look at that same image. Okay, and you can see the buttons obviously have the plus and minus symbols cut right into them, so we're going to do that. And we'll do this one afterwards. I think we'll get these in first. Okay, and if we create this plus one, we should be able to create obviously this minus one out of that one, minus the extra slash obviously. Okay, so let's go back into our left view for a second. Toggle our transparency on, and yeah, those blueprints aren't going to be much help there. So we'll just kind of wing this. So let's reselect this piece. Oops. Let's go back onto edit poly here, and we'll turn off show and result. Just going to select these 4 polygons on this top hole. Okay, and alright, we'll just select the 4 middle ones. I don't think we need to get those outside edge ones here. This should be big enough, so we're going to use this to create the button. And I'm just wondering if it would be easier if we actually created it from scratch. You know what, let's actually go with the cylinder on this. I think the topology on this piece really won't work as good. Alright, so let's go into the left view. And rather than clone those polygons off, let's turn that off for a second. Or actually, let's turn it on. And let's go into the grid panel and grab maybe a cylinder for this. Alright, I'm just going to drag that out in the center here, where the edges cross. Hit F3 there so we can see what we're doing. Take that up to roughly the same size as our hole and give it a little bit of thickness. Alright, let's go into maybe the top view here and just move this to the outside so we can see it. Okay. Okay, and for the settings here, we'll do about 12 on the radius. Okay, the height doesn't really matter, we'll just leave that at about 6 or 7. We don't need the height segments on the sides here, so we'll right click the spinner there. And let's also take up the sides here a little bit more. Let's do maybe 32. All right, I just want to see if that'll give us the right edges here, so I'm just going to add a cap segment. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to take the cap segment off for a second. Alright, so 12 on the radius, around 6 or 7 on the height, 1 height segment, 1 cap segment, and 32 sides. And we're going to convert this to editable poly. Okay, and we'll go into polygon, grab that front poly, and we'll just inset this a few times. Just gonna look at the reference here. Okay, so let's do an inset. And I'm going to leave that roughly somewhat close to the outside edge, and then we'll do it again. Okay, I'll take this one a little bit more, and let's do maybe 1 more. Okay, and I think that should be big enough to fit our plus symbol in there. So hit OK to that. Okay, so let's go back in the left view here. We'll turn our shading on with F3, and we'll just cut this up. Alright, so we're going to go back to vertex, and we'll select these center verts here, top to bottom, and connect them up. Let's connect these ones as well, and these two. Okay, and I'm just going to cut this across. You can use distance connect if you want to do this, if you have a new version of Max, but I'm just going to do it with cut. Alright, so we'll turn our vertex snapping on, and we'll just cut from the center vert over to the other side. Right click, and same with these other two here. Okay, whoops. Alright, that'll give us the shape we need. Alright, let's turn our snaps off here, and we want to be somewhat careful with how we approach this. Whenever you do something like this, you want to think ahead about what you're going to need once you get this cut in, and obviously we're going to need to somehow support this shape. Now we don't want to just add support edges and connect those to the outside, because our cylinder will have kinks and flat spots on it if we connect any of these loops through the middle here on any of these segments. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to ring, or edge, sorry, and ring this edge here. I'm going to zoom in a bit, and we're going to connect this up. I'm going to slide this edge really, really close to that inside there. Okay, we'll do about 90. I think that should work fine. Hit OK. Alright, and let's do another one here. Alright, so we're going to ring another edge here and do another connect. and we'll leave that exactly the same, 90. Okay, and that's going to give us triple edges here. So when we punch this in, we'll have a support edge on the outside as well as a support edge on the back of the hole. Okay, now it'll make a little more sense in a second. We also need to somehow support these edges here. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab that edge. Let's grab this one, as well as, let's do these two actually first. I'm just going to loop these for a second. Okay, and then we'll go up to the top. I'm going to hold down Alt and deselect the edges up to this point here. Okay, so just leave it deselected right there on each side. Same thing at the bottom. Alright, deselect those edges. Okay, and what we're going to do here is chamfer these edges to break them apart into multiple edges. Okay, so we'll chamfer, open that up, take the amount way down, okay, and we'll add 2 segments here. Alright, and this will give us, again, the triple edges. Alright, so I'm just going to take that back a bit and try to even it out with what we have here. Looks like about 0.04, hit OK. Alright, and don't worry about these weird verts here, we're going to clean that up in a minute. Alright, so we're going to do the exact same thing side to side, so grab this edge and loop them. Alright, deselect them up to this point on each side, and chamfer, same settings, and OK. Alright, and if we go to perspective here, let's hit Z. Okay, so you can see we have, or we'll have enough edges here to support this hole once we punch it in. Alright, but we do need to clean this up a little bit over here. Okay, so let's zoom in here. And let's just do this on half. Alright, so I'm going to grab the verts on the right side here and delete them out. Alright, we're just going to do this a couple times rather than having to do it on each one of these. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Alright, so I'm going to loop this edge here and control backspace it to get rid of those verts. Okay, I don't know if I really want to connect it across. Let's maybe target weld it over here for a second. Alright, before we do that, let's actually punch this hole in for a second so we can see what it looks like when it's smooth. Alright, so let's grab these polys here in the center. And we're just going to grow that selection once. Okay, so we have the polygons between the first 2 edges selected all the way around this hole, but not these ones. Okay, we want to have these ones selected as well here. Okay, I'm just going to manually select these. Okay, and up at the top we need these 2, and the same 2 at the bottom. Okay, so back in perspective here, we're going to extrude these in now. Okay, so punch that in. And we'll do it fairly deep. Maybe around -3 or so, and OK. And then we'll get rid of these center polygons here that we don't need, so we're just going to drag right through those. And we'll make sure we get the small one at the top and the small one at the bottom. Okay, so grab those and delete them. Okay. And I'm just going to test smooth this and see how this looks on this side here. Alright, I'm just going to go up to this top hole here, grab these 2 edges, control backspace them out, and let's grab this one here. And I think we'll remove this edge here for a second. I'm just going to see what it looks like if we leave it like that. Okay, and let's also go down to edge here, and we need to support the inside side pieces here. So we're going to bring these polygons here. Let's do a connect with 2 segments, no slide, and pinch those out. And let's do it about 96 or so. Oops. And OK. Alright, now that we have that inside support there, we'll see what it looks like up here. Okay, and that's actually giving us a pretty nice corner there. And there's virtually no difference between us target welding that vert over to the side or just leaving that extra edge removed there like this. So let's maybe just target weld it over. Okay, so go back to vertex and target weld this vert over to this one. And the exact same thing up at the top. Okay, so we're just going to weld these together here, or you can just take the edge out either way and weld that up. Okay, same thing down here. Okay, so let's target weld these together. And one more time from this vert down to the bottom. Okay, and we'll see how that looks. Alright, we're looking pretty good there. Let's go back to the left view here. And I'm going to drop down to the edit poly and then apply a symmetry modifier. Or you can use a mirror if you want with a copy. Symmetry area. Okay, so apply that. Let's flip our mirror. Okay, let's actually disable that turbo smooth for a second. Okay, I'm just going to take that threshold down a bit so those verts won't weld. Okay. And let's test smooth it here. And make sure we don't have any artifacts. Okay. Alright, you can see that has a fairly rough or very sharp edge around the face there, and it's kind of beveled over on the sides, so let's maybe do a little bit more work here. Let's drop back down to our, actually let's just delete our turbo smooth for now, and we'll collapse our symmetry on here. So convert to editable poly. Back to edge. Let's do a ring on the side edges here, and a connect. All right, I'm just going to slide that forward a bit. Now we'll do something like that. Okay. Then I'm going to select this edge here and loop these both, and we're going to chamfer them. Okay, we're going to take the amount way down on this. And we're going to do this really tight, about 0.017 or so. And okay, and that should give us a little bit better of an edge there when we turbo smooth it. Alright, I think that's good enough. We could bevel that over to get a little bit more of the actual shape, but it's such a small detail, I'm not really going to worry about it for the tutorial. Okay, so let's just name this stuff. Let's go button dash volume plus. Alright, we'll also center that pivot point. And we'll try to create the second one using this one, so we don't have to remodel the entire thing. Alright, so let's grab that center one there and we'll just shift drag it down as a copy. And let's also name it minus. And we'll just position it in the bottom hole here and just line up those center edges. This one with the outside one there, so we know it's right in the dead center of this hole. And let's dump that turbo smooth off. Let's delete it. And now we're just going to need to clean this up a bit. Alright, so we obviously need to get rid of this piece here as well as this top part. Okay, so let's maybe just do half of this at a time. Alright, so let's go to vertex and we'll delete the entire bottom half. Alright, may as well only do this once. Okay, so let's go maybe to polygon here. And let's select these two back polygons. We're just going to grow the selection a bit here. Okay, so we'll bring it out right to the outside edge, and then we'll just deselect these ones here that we want to keep. Alright, so hold down Alt, deselect those ones, these ones, as well as the ones there in the hole. Okay, and we want to make sure we deselect these three on each side. So just drag right through those. Okay, so we want to keep these underneath edges here. We just want to get rid of everything in this top section. So delete that out. Alright, and let's attempt to close this up, and I think the easiest way to do it will probably be with bridge. Okay, so I'm just going to select the 3 edges on the left side there. Okay, and the same 3 edges on the right side. Okay, and then we'll hit bridge. Okay, that doesn't seem to want to work for us for some reason. Alright, we'll just deselect this back edge here, as well as this back edge, and see if we can do it with the 2 front ones. Oh, that's why. Selected the wrong edge there. Okay, so now let's bridge it. Alright, and then we'll just go to border, grab that back border and cap it. And we'll close up the front the same way. Okay, so let's do this edge here. We're going to leave that top one deselected for a second. Grab that one and the bottom one here on each side and bridge them. Okay, then we'll come up to the top. Let's do a border select here and a cap. Okay. And we need to add a couple additional edges here. Let's also get rid of the center one for now. So let's loop that edge and control backspace it out. And we'll grab an edge here and do a ring. Okay, and we'll zoom in really close and connect this up again. Okay, 2 segments, no slide, and we'll just pinch those out. Around 94 should be good, and okay, and then we can just connect these up on each side. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that they are welded, so we'll select all those pairs there, and we'll do a really tiny weld here, around 0.07 or so. Okay, you can see that's going to weld up a few verts here for us. Okay, just so we don't have anything stuck on top of each other, we'll do the same thing with these pairs here just to make sure. Okay, we'll turn that weld threshold down a bit more. And up at the top here, we're going to need to clean this up a little bit more. Alright, so let's go back to edge. Just select one of these center edges and ring it, and connect it up. And let's do 1 segment, no pinch, no slide. Okay, then we'll go up to the top here and just connect these verts. Okay, I'm going to do this in the left view so it's a little easier to see. Alright, so we'll do the 2 centers there, connect those up, as well as these ones, and these ones. Okay, and we'll just maybe move this vert up and kind of even out these edges a little bit better. Okay, and this really doesn't matter if it's precise. We have a completely flat surface here, so if the edges are a little twisted, it really doesn't matter. We might take some of those out in a minute. Okay, so let's just put on another symmetry. Okay, I want to do this on the Y. Okay, and as you can see again, those are snapping together, so I'm going to turn the threshold down a bit just so those are broken apart. Okay, that looks pretty good, so we'll just collapse that down to a poly one more time. And let's get rid of a couple of these edges here we don't need. We don't obviously need support edges around this if it's not punched in, so let's grab these 2 edges here on each side, do a loop, and control backspace it. Okay, and then we'll just do a test smooth here. 2 iterations, nice line. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Might be a little sharper on the hole on each of these, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to select both buttons there. And we'll just move them back in a bit here. We'll just leave them sticking out slightly. Okay, something like that looks pretty good. Okay, so that was a little bit of a pain in the ass to do, but we'll just move on to that top button now. Okay, so let's look at our reference again. Alright, you can see that's kind of an oval shape on each end, but relatively boxy, so let's go back into our left view one more time. Scroll up to the top here. Okay, and we'll just start this with a box. Okay, so I'm just going to draw that out and line it up with the blueprints as best I can. Let's do it a little bit bigger than we need. Give it a little bit of thickness, and we'll just kind of reposition it in the hole here. Alright, so try to center that as best you can. We'll move it over to the right side a bit. Convert it to editable poly. And we'll also move it a little bit forward here so it's in the hole. Okay, and let me just maybe throw that blue shader on there so we can see it a little easier. Okay, so let's go to edge, ring those outer corner edges, and we're just going to chamfer this down the same way we did the foam body. Crank this up a bit, and we'll just roll it over. Okay, I'm going to make it quite oval. Okay, I'm going to leave it a little flat on the top. Let's crank it up a bit. Alright, let's do maybe 4 segments and about 4.5 on the amount. Alright. Okay, so we'll grab that front polygon, and before we do that, let's actually connect this up. Maybe. Alright, let's actually inset it first. Okay, so grab that front edge there. And let's see, let's maybe do a bevel instead. Okay, so I'm going to open up bevel there, take that down quite a bit. Okay, we'll just bevel it in something like that. Okay, and then we'll inset it in the front here. And this edge on the front is pretty sharp, so we'll do a pretty tight inset here. And just to be on the safe side, let's do it one more time. And okay. And now we'll connect up the verts. Okay, so exact same process here. Just select the matching pairs on the top and bottom. Or if you want, you can cut it in half and mirror it over afterwards. Okay, and then we'll go to cut, and we'll just cut the top to bottom here to connect up these other pairs. Okay, so straight down. Okay, so now we have a quad mesh. Turn off cut, turn off snaps. Okay, and then we'll go in maybe an edge and just add a couple of additional segments here. Alright, I'm going to test Swift Loop again. Doesn't seem to want to work for me. Okay, there, it seems to be working now. So I'm just going to add a couple of spurs here, or you can do it with ring and connect if you want. Okay, so we'll add a couple there. And let's also push it back in a bit. Okay, I'm going to go around the back here and delete off that back polygon. And let's see if we can maybe just create that slide piece in there out of this shape. So I'm going to select that back border, go into the left view, go into wireframe F3, and hold down shift and just scale this up a bit for a second. Okay. And we'll see if we can kind of just, pull out the sides here and get this shaped into what we need. So I'm going to select those verts there on the back and just move them over. Okay, it's going to look a little messy here at first, but we'll kind of clean it up. Alright, so let's kind of make a slide piece here. Alright, I'm just going to line these, grab those verts there, and make planar on X, I guess we need. Yep. Okay, and we'll kind of just pull these bottom ones out and straighten them out a bit more better. Okay, so make planar on Y there. Just going to move that down a bit. Do the same thing on the top. Okay, it really doesn't need to be perfect on this part. We're not really going to see any of this stuff, so we'll just do it really, really quickly here. Just going to move these ones over, and we'll select these ones as well and make planar on Y. Whoops, on X, sorry. Okay, I'm just going to leave that a little bit bigger than the hole. Okay. And let's get out of vertex for a second. Let's hit Alt Q. Alright, we're going to need some support edges here, so let's ring these ones here. And we'll slide a spur edge to the back really tight. And we'll see if we can do a ring on this. I don't think it's going to let us. Okay, it did, so that's good. We'll just add one more here. Okay, and get that really tight to that corner. Alright. Alright, so let's test smooth it. Okay, let's actually turn that off for a second. And we'll just maybe extrude out this back border here to keep these corners a little bit more sharp. Alright, so I'm going to grab that back border, hold down shift and drag it back on the X. Maybe something like that. And we'll add spur edge there around the sides. So ring those corner edges. Okay, and then we'll do one on the front again. Slide that the other way. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it being very even here because it really doesn't matter. You're not going to see most of this. Okay, now let's go in here and grab these 4 corner edges. Okay, we're going to do a loop on those. And then we're going to go into the front view and hold down Alt and deselect everything but those corner edges. Okay, so just the corner edges there. Let me zoom in a bit so we can see what's going on. Okay, and let's just chamfer this really tight. Okay, and we'll see if that will hold that square shape a bit for us. Okay, I think that's pretty good for that button. We'll see how it looks. Okay. Okay, I think that's good for now. Alright, so I think that'll take care of that left side, and I think the next thing we'll do is start doing the top piece. So let's unhide all, and we'll just grab that top piece there, do Control I, and hide select it. Okay, and we'll start working on this now.